Hi, Scorpio. Your reading was so late last month, I think. So we're doing it early. Because I love you. And it's Virgo season. So I'm doing the readings a little bit different this month. And that means I'm doing a spread that I have done in the beginning, or sometimes I do them in personal readings if I feel called to. It's what I call the compass reading. So there will be a section specifically for your body, for your mind, for your heart, and for your spirit. And then the compass, which is the center, will be the bottom of the deck, or if another card falls out. So each section gives us clarification and usually ties together very well. And in the extended, we'll go into more about that, which will be in my Patreon link. And yeah, it's very accurate, I feel, even for a general reading. Okay, Scorpio, this month, I think of all the signs kind of skated through Leo season, where some signs have gotten sick right off the bat in Virgo season, and I don't think you're one of those signs. I feel like you took care of yourself for the most part last month, because there's just too much focus in your life and too much external things for you to get kind of wrapped up too internally. Hold on one second. All right. First card out. Yeah. You did what you needed to do last month. This month should be, or ought to be, rather a breeze, but like something, like a good breeze. Oh, interesting. We got enough cards out here. Perfect. So you came into this month and you're looking around like, why is everyone feeling this way? Like, why is everyone sick? Why is everyone blah, blah? It's like, oh, I was too busy doing my own thing that I didn't realize everyone was out here, and now they're out here. So you may feel like you want to pull back. You want to retreat this month and just do your own thing, like have fun like you were last month. But this month it's more of just like a celebration of everything you've gotten done. You still have a lot to do. There'll still be more to do, but there's this opening happening. And what you're noticing is that sometimes when the collective or the majority of people around you are feeling not their best, you can tend to feel the opposite. So Virgo season wants you to go with that, because you might have new experiences and new adventures and impulses that you may not have had before, or you haven't had in a while to do. So you may feel this just sense of adventure this month, where you want to just go do something on your own, or call a friend you haven't seen in a while. You might want to travel, maybe short distance for some of you, and that's what's on your mind. It's this whole new opening. Something closed for some of you, and now you have like this opening that's happening this season, and Virgo season is a great place to see that and kind of mold your next round of experiences. And what this brings up in your heart, or in that focus of the heart, is this very clear sense of who you are. Like, that's what kind of comes over you this month. You're very clear on who you are. And the Knight of Swords, for some of you, also references you might be very sharp in the mind, and you might want to call some people idiots, or, you know, if it slips out, it slips out. And what are you going to do? Just know that some people will feel combative this month, so just be careful where you decide to put that. Even though you have a very strong sense of self. So I'm sure it won't be like too aggressive or abrasive, but you may feel that way to other people, or come off that way to other people. Yet now it's because you're doing it on purpose more than ever. And you feel the star is also this connection of intuition. Because you know and are very clear and grounded for some of you. Some of you are very clear on what you want now. Last month kind of was like, and now you're like, okay, no, I really want the whole thing. Leo season showed me, I know I can have it. Cool, I'm waiting. I'm not, like, for whatever it is for you, whatever that entails for you, whether it's a job or a partner, whatever it is, or a direction, a purpose. You're like, I want to do this and I want everything. For some of you, you're still recognizing, and this season will show you that will be like the lantern moment for you, where you finally admit to yourself what you really want or who it is. For some of you, there's a specific person that's in your heart, and this month is a great month, especially when Mercury and Mars roll into Libra. A great time, especially if it's someone from your past or someone that you've known for a while and you've been wanting to kind of make advances on, but you haven't done it, or they've been popping up in your life somehow. It's been like this random synchronicity, very kismet. You might find a very kismet connection this month that not only you're surprised about, but you also know at the same time. So it's like your psyche's kind of like playing this fun game and you're totally into it because everyone else is kind of freaking out right now, and you did what you needed to do. So you're just kind of like, meh, I'm gonna go play over here. I'm gonna go down this road. And in the spirit here, we have this clear sense of direction, this very disciplined manner, which when you're set on something, you don't really have to be disciplined about it because like you're set on it. So you're set on something, you know it's going to work out, you know what's going to happen, and you'll take initiative where you need to take initiative. There's a lot of accountability that some of you may be feeling as well, or someone in your life taking accountability for something that has happened, which then clears up a lot of doubts you didn't realize you had, or certain things internally that you didn't realize were causing tension. And for some of you, that's a physical thing that you will feel released from. The center here, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This month, more than anything, is staying centered in your self-worth. Usually it's very easy for you to be there no matter what. It's just kind of a thing. But Virgo season can bring you down into a sense of regret, especially if that past person comes back, and instead of following this new road, you can go in your head and kind of go to a place that you've already been. You don't really need to go back there. And the way that shows is how you approach this thing that comes back. So the way you approach it, way you move forward with it, then becomes different. Then becomes who you are now. So the energy shifts. So you don't even have to think about that anymore. Because you know how sometimes when you see someone and all of these things from the past come back, and then you realize, like, we'll talk about that when we need to. Let's just be here now. And then the moment presents itself, and you do, and then it's great, and you settle it. And it's just so easy to communicate this month with the Libra placements being in flow. And it's so easy for you to get maybe even your points across even more in a way that could be very direct and intense for some, and yet it's so kind of light and breezy for you at the same time. And I think that more than anything, it's because you may feel very in yourself in that way. If there is a past structure, so this is also the King of Swords in the spirit sector, if there's a past structure that has been a discipline in your life that just doesn't work for you, and this is your spiritual, so this is spirit, and that's encompassing everything. If there's an old belief or a system that you were born into or you were taught to follow and you're just not interested anymore, you find it very easy to address this with yourself now. You find it very easy to address anything that's held you back, whether it's from moving forward in different ways or having more, or having this very clear sense of worth in Virgo season. It becomes, this month is a great time to be disciplined in that with yourself, so that it becomes ingrained in you. By the time we get to your season, it then becomes way more of who you are. And there's a lot of you going through that right now. It's like, okay, I've done this, and that. Okay, now of course, everything always comes back to purpose, because your money's good. You know, if there's no love in your life, it's definitely starting to look more possible that you will be, if you want a long-term relationship, that you're headed towards that this year. For some of you, it's just you doing exactly what you want and how you want in all different parts of your life. Yet knowing that you're still on your way and you're still working towards something. But for those of you who do feel very right away, feel very in your worth, it's a great time this month that if you're at a job to negotiate, if you want to make more money. And it's a great time to have conversations that you feel were left just too loose. And you may be surprised that you're not the one who reaches out. You may be surprised by that, because you're not pushing it. You don't want to push anything. That's not the deal this month. And if you do, come back to this King of Swords of like, where am I holding? What am I holding on to? Why do I feel, whether it's obsession or really focused on something, like narrow-minded about something, come back to that. That's that star card again, that heart-centered belief coming around and showing you, hey, like, you missed this. This is something that's held you back from breaking free. And then your mind has this, when your mind can shift and wrap its head around something after going through all of the depth and everything, also depending on where your Mercury lands, you have no problem. And for those of you who do end up going on like a spontaneous adventure, or go on an adventure this month, whether it's traveling or doing something completely different, it's going to be so good for you. There's going to be even a revelation that some of you have from that experience, which could be with someone, with another person as well. So overall, this is really letting everything like work its way into you without doing too much. This month for you is about not doing too much, but recognizing more than ever that just because something looks enticing or something looks seductive to you, it doesn't need your attention. Because sometimes that's pulling you back into what you no longer want. So the way that you're being seduced, the way the seduction is happening now, is a little different. It's a little more Virgo style. We'll look at the cards and get clear on that. So this is the first part. The second part, we take a look at the compass here. In the extended reading, I shuffle more and we look at more detail for you, and I go through the whole deck, which will be on Patreon, so that we'll get more into the body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit. Information to work with me one-on-one below. Payment options are below. Donation options are below. And that's all I have for now. Okay, Scorpio? I'll see you next month. Hi, Scorpio. All right, so this month a lot is going to be processing through your body. And you might feel tired, even if you haven't done too much, simply just because you are processing. Let me move this a little closer. And that helps you maintain the sense of self-worth this month. So just know that that's just a key. It's like not that you would, but I know, it's the seasons to be out there, to be doing stuff. And again, you took care of yourself last month for the most part. and for those of you who have, excuse me, this month is about letting that process while also, not waiting on anyone either. So again, like for some of you, you might be spontaneously taking a trip, but here's the thing. For some of you, you're just wanting to escape yourself this month, possibly. And it's important to know that in Virgo season, you could do that. But more than anything, it would be wise to allow yourself that rest when you need it. And maybe it's to go away just to get away for a couple of days, and that's great. Do that. Take the time you need and come back to yourself. You may find that there's this it may feel harsh at first from the Aquarius new full moon that just happened as we entered the season on the 22nd. And you may feel like there's a sense of harshness, but it's not. It's just these different, for some of you, you're setting up different boundaries. So it just feels different. And you've known it before, but you've never let yourself like really fully go into it. Or if you have, you know what that feels like, but it's going to be different this time because you're different. So, or as long as you are different. So when you get to that point, I'm going to bring the Queen of Swords over here. When you get to that point, there's a part of you that like, when you're up, if you ever played that game Chicken, or seen that game Chicken, when cars or bikes and you just go towards each other to see who is going to chicken out first. And I'm not that you're a chicken, but you come so close sometimes just to pull away. But now, this month, you'll have a greater understanding of what makes you do that, what pulls you away, what's been kind of hiding behind you, and what your heart now has the opportunity to reveal itself to, because you understand something different this season. Virgo season for you can be like the ultimate healing ground or a complete agitation. You can completely want to run from it. The beauty in this, though, I always got to say the beauty in things. The beauty in this is that there's such a grounding sense of assuredness with you. There's this knowing that you may not even realize that you used to do what I just said you sometimes do, having like one foot in, one foot out. Because when you decide on something, your mind's made up. So in the spirit section, body section, mind, heart, spirit, then center compass, center focus, it's like spirit isn't fucking around, the universe isn't fucking around, you're not fucking around with it anymore, and you're very clear and direct about what you want. It's just important to know that a part of the process of knowing what you want is also having the understanding that it won't pass you, it won't miss you. And it's important, other things really important, this is very specific. If any of you are in your head and being combative with yourself or being too harsh with yourself, that is very much, Virgo. Then we're entering like signs, Mercury and Mars entering Libra, and then we have Venus entering your sign on the 10th. You can be harsh with yourself, but because of these placements, it's really important to recognize that that needs to come out of you in some kind of way. And that might be why you need a certain amount of alone time, and where the exhaustion is actually coming from is your brain power. Because you might think a lot of people are fucking idiots this month. Let's be real. Like, you might have a lot of things, and some of you are just gonna let it out. And, you know, you're gonna do what you wanna do. And I'm just like, but just recognize, are you tired? You know, are you tired? Because what's being revealed to you is making you come through, more of you come through. There's someone in your heart, it could be an Aquarius, but there's someone also, something in your heart that's been growing for a long time, whether it's this love and this greater capacity to love yourself, see yourself, and acknowledge your intuition, because your intuition's on point. Because, like, some people, like, I'm going to backtrack. I'm not going to say that. Your intuition will become very clear this month. And if you utilize it in the ways of bringing everything together and understanding the great, like, always coming from, like, if you're going to say it, come from a grounding place, you know? When you want to notice, you know, you don't get to always notice your triggers and the certain things that come up, but when you do, or if you want to make room for it, sit with it. Sit in a grounding place. Acknowledge it. Maybe some of you need to do something, some type of healing modality this month, or try something new for yourself in terms of what your heart really needs. So if something out of nowhere comes up and you feel like doing energy work or massage or getting something done that really, you know, helps from the superficial layer down, it helps you, go do it. Just whatever's in the back of your mind. There's something that's been there. And even maybe in that moment, that will help you recognize what's happening. And it's just bringing you back to that greater sense of self. And I know we keep talking about this, but there's more of an acceptance happening with you this month, the more that you can rest with it. And because here's the thing, if you don't, you're going to be exhausted, harsh, and coming out of the season feeling like you were running in circles, you know? And for most of you, though, you'll feel like people are running in circles around you, and you're like, what are you doing? Just, like, chill. Okay, so we'll get into the extended reading where I clarify more of each section and what it wants to tell you more of, or what you need from it. And also, if there's someone coming into your life, because for some of you, this could be a masculine figure or a King of Swords who comes in and shares their beliefs with you, and you really hit it off with them, and it could be someone really great. But, oh yeah, for some of you, this could also be just, like, the past and, like, what you used to believe in coming up for you, and you deciding on something different and not realizing that's been troubling you, you know? All right, all information to work with me is below, Scorpio. I love you, and I'll see you next month.